Welcome back to the Apollo Media YouTube channel. It's your boy Dex out here with JP, filming live on location today at Sweetgreen Montrose.
Woohoo! Beautiful.
You know we love Sweetgreen here at Apollo.
Absolutely.
It's a special day at Sweetgreen. They just launched new seasonal products today, including the Elote Bowl, which you had.
Yo, the Elote Bowl, if you're not ordering it, you're missing out. Like, obviously, it's true. Like, I'm a big corn guy, and let me tell you, this is where it's at. Absolutely.
The phrase big corn guy is just hilarious. Don't stop saying that.
Yo, bro, you know what? I have no shame in my game, man.
I'm a big corn guy.
Give me Elote. Give it to me in the cup, on the cob. I don't care. I'm with it.
They also launched the Siete collab today. Special chips with a very special brand are available now. They lost the Italian chopped salad, which I've heard is really good. Haven't had it yet, but it looks amazing. Everything about Sweetgreen is amazing. So just come out here to Sweetgreen.
Absolutely.
We're in Montrose, but they got them all over. They're in downtown, Uptown Park, Cypress, wherever you are. There's Sweetgreen. Get over there. Our guest today, super Sweetgreen fan.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Garris of the Houston Dash.
Hello.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to do this.
You are second-year player for the Dash. Forward, is that how you describe yourself? Forward, winger?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part.
Okay.
Winger, left winger.
Left winger. Okay.
Sometimes for the Dash, outside back. So.
You do it all.
Wherever
Up in
you're
the air.
needed.
Yeah.
Wherever you're needed.
Just not goalkeeper.
There you go.
Anything but there.
But yeah, thanks for coming on with us today. Yeah, we just can't wait to get to know you a little better. So you're from Chicago.
From Chicago.
Had you ever been to Houston before you moved down here? Or?
So, no. I had traveled all over for club soccer, but never made it to Houston. The only place in Texas that I ever visited or had gone to was Dallas.
Boo.
And little story, yeah. Oh
Terrible
my God.
city.
I had the worst idea of Texas ever because when I went to Dallas, I was probably 15, soccer tournament. We stayed in a hotel. A raccoon was in the elevator. There was a person with an eye bandage walking around the hallway. And I was like, what is Texas? This is not where I belong.
Just raccoons in the elevator,
Yes.
just all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I had just the worst idea of Texas. And then when it came down to Houston, I was like, oh, this is actually so cool. I love the city, good food, awesome people. And so a lot different idea. I just had not the best idea of it going in.
Yeah, and hot as hell.
I can't.
They didn't say hell in the shell is just a saying, right?
Yeah.
It's
Hell in the
literally a
shell
way
for
of
real.
life.
Right. Oh my God, it's so hot.
I can't imagine actually being on the field. We're in the press box most of the time. And
walking through the corridors of the stadium, when it's in the midst of summer, it is terrible. I get from the car, get checked in, walk the halls, and I'm sweating by the time we get to
by the time
press
we get to the
box.
press box,
Oh,
already
yeah.
sweating.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
No,
awful.
absolutely.
I don't know how y'all do it.
When I first came to Houston 2 years ago, I came in January, so it was kind of nice. I was wearing a jacket outside. I was like, people are so dramatic. It's not that hot. And then day by day, I was like, wait, it has to slow down. This is getting way too hot. And now I'm just you can't get used to it. Anyone I've talked to who has been here a year or lived here their whole life, has never gotten used to it. So I'm try not to fight it.
Yeah, it's just always hot. Always
It's always
humid.
hot.
You just-
Yeah, nothing changes.
Yeah.
Consistency is key in Houston. And that's just how it is. The good food and the heat. It's pretty much what happens.
That's
around
all we
here.
got.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to you kind of growing up in Chicago, when did you start playing soccer? How old were you? Shout out to our other guest,
Shout
Cody.
out to my dog who believes this is his
Hey,
home.
bud.
I started playing soccer when I was 7. Showed up to my first soccer tryout in jean shorts. Brought no soccer ball. Had literally no idea what I was doing. I would just stand there when everyone was watching. I didn't want anyone to touch me. I was like, no, I don't like this physical side of it. I'm good kicking a ball, but let's not tackle each other. So I started then, and then I just fell in love with the game. I tried a bunch of different sports growing up, and soccer was always the one that I kept wanting to do again and again. And now it's brought me here.
What other sports were you trying?
So I did cheerleading, but the thing about cheerleading is I thought I was also allowed to play in the football game that I was cheering for. And so I threw a whole temper tantrum when I found out I had to stay on the side. I was not about that. So that didn't last very long. I did basketball, I did volleyball, all of those with my club soccer team. Softball, we would try other sports together, which was really
That's
fun.
awesome.
Oh, it's dope.
Yeah, and then I did gymnastics, and I don't think I'm missing anything, but tried a bunch of different stuff.
Were you good at other stuff too, or just soccer?
So At the
Sounds like no.
time,
We
at the
appreciate
time,
the
I thought
honesty.
I was like a baller. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I could do literally anything. But I think the helpful part was like the fact that my soccer team did all these sports together. Like we were athletes, so we were able to compete to an extent. But I'm sure just the technique and everything was like atrocious. But we were pretty decent.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, we talked to Katie Lynn a little while ago, friend of the program, and she like went all through high school still playing basketball and was like up in the air, like which one she wanted to play in college and stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds like you did
Which
not.
is so cool. No,
have
I didn't make it
burden.
that far. No, I did not.
Touche, it's okay. I was the same way. Played Little League basketball once I got to middle school. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Everyone outgrew me, and I was like, yeah,
Like,
I was
what?
stuck where I was at.
I got to my sophomore year of high school playing basketball every year, and then I looked around and I was like, wait, this isn't gonna work anymore.
Just got humbled
so
real
funny.
quick.
Yeah.
Everyone's taller and faster than me now. This
yeah,
sucks.
sports will do that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But okay, so you're in Chicago. You went to South Carolina for college.
Correct,
What made
yes.
you want to go to South Carolina?
So I visited a bunch of different schools. When I committed, I was pretty young. It was just like, I feel like that generation committed like freshman, sophomore year of high school, which is crazy to think about because you're so young making a big decision. But I'm so grateful. I would not change my experience or my decision for anything. So I visited a lot of schools. I looked at every school. If something happened to soccer, God forbid, I couldn't play soccer, would I still want to go to that school? And South Carolina, like the second I was on campus, which is such like a generic saying, but like I just like had that feeling and I was like, this feels like kind of home away from home. Had to get away from the cold. I'm like, now that I'm in Houston, I'm like, wow, I just got hotter and hotter. But wanted to kind of get out of the Midwest just for a different experience. I loved the weather in South Carolina. I loved the atmosphere, the environment with like the campus and how much support the soccer team got. It was so
awesome.
cool. It was like we always joked that we were a women's soccer school and a women's basketball school because like everyone would come to our games and it was like such a surreal feeling like walking out onto the field and so much of campus was there. And then I majored in advertising and the School of Journalism
out.
there is just like incredible. And I had the best experiences, the greatest teachers, like internships, everything. So all in all, like I love the environment of the team. It's a very like family atmosphere, and just everything about the school. I loved it.
That's really dope. Yeah, most people are like, yeah, the coach was cool. Like,
Yeah.
No
Love
one
my
really
coaches
brings
too.
up the environment.
They gave me like
Yeah.
the
I
best
I mean,
scholarship.
South Carolina is
Like,
pretty dope from what I heard. I mean, who went there from Texas? Was it Jadeveon Clowney
Yeah.
that went to South Carolina? Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of that.
Yeah, I know their women's basketball team is still like the coldest.
Killer.
Like I love,
They're cool. Like
I love women's college basketball. So like,
Yeah.
Shout
They're
out to Don
such, like,
Staley.
yeah, it's campus celebrities. Like I'd see them like, oh my god, everyone acts cool. Like they're walking by right now.
It's like,
and Don
relax,
Staley
guys.
too.
Come on.
I
Don't-
I went to Baylor and we also like joked that we were a women's basketball school because like for a while that was all we had.
Yeah. So you have to be.
Yeah, like that was the only good like team for like 20 years
Yeah,
at Baylor.
that's so funny.
Now other stuff is good too, but
Yeah.
still love women's college basketball. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of it, not a lot, but I know about South Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah, so can you kind of tell us about like your college career and like some of like the like your experiences there and what it was like being an athlete? Like
Yeah, I loved the experience that I got in college when it came to soccer, came to everything, but especially soccer. I got to start as a freshman, which was an amazing experience. I got to play with a lot of the established seniors, like Savannah McCaskill, who's in the league, and just like a ton of amazing leaders. So it was really cool. I think it was super developmental, like from the coaches and who I got to surround myself with in terms of my teammates, like really helped me grow my game, and kind of made playing pro like an option, which I think it was awesome. I never kind of expected it to be like an arm's reach, and then it became it very quickly, which was cool. I ended up taking my 5th year there because we got an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. I was like, I'm not leaving if I don't have to. Like, I would stay in college
Touche.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I took my extra year to get like a mini master's program pretty much, and that is kind of when I feel like I just played so confidently and I was super comfortable, and I was one of the oldest ones on the team, so I got to like get that leadership experience and everything. But we ended up like winning the SEC tournament. We were the conference champions a few times, and I just had like such amazing opportunities, and luckily we got like really good results as a group. And it was awesome to play with 5 years worth of different teammates and get to know a lot of people who are now in the league and who are going to be in the league.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you didn't think you were gonna go pro until your final year?
So it was always the dream. Like since I was little, wearing my jean shorts at the tryout, I was like, if I could be a professional soccer player, like I have made it. Like that was always the goal. And I knew how competitive the league was. I knew how competitive college was, everything. And it just like as college kept going and I started to develop more as a player and I got those experiences and I talked to different coaches, everything, I was like, oh, maybe I can actually do this.
I'm built different.
Yeah, a little bit. But I would say like I don't want to say that I didn't think it was possible because it was still a goal, but I didn't know that it would happen. Like I thought it was a dream rather than a realistic kind of chance. But my senior year and then my 5th year were kind of those very key years that I was like, oh wow, I want to make this happen for sure.
You kind of separated yourself from the pack. You're like, yes, I am her. I'm established
I really like
and I'm ready. You know, yeah, there you go.
So what kind of is the draft process like for the NWSL? Like when did you start talking to Houston? When did you kind of know they were thinking about drafting you?
Yeah, so I talked to a few different coaches in the league. The thing about the draft is like you really cannot be sure. A team can say we're going to draft you this number and then it can get changed because there's trades happening. Like they might make a split decision during the draft, like they want this position, whatever.
Yeah.
So you really like can't be sure. So I talked to a lot of coaches, kind of got like a gauge on where they were at with me, if they wanted me, like how interested they were. So I had an idea that it was a possibility, but didn't know for sure until I got the phone call 2 minutes before I was drafted. And so the draft was it was online. And it was 3 hours long, and I had my best friend and my family there, and I didn't let anyone talk. I was like not nice. Like my brother would try to make jokes. I was like focus. So for 3 hours
Poor
we
guy.
watched this draft. I know, sorry, Joe. We watched this draft. I was just like shaking. I couldn't eat. I was just like so anxious about the situation.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And my phone's sitting right here, and I'm kind of like checking it, and then Houston's pick came up. And it was really cool because they only had one pick, so it was like such a surreal moment in itself that they chose me for their one pick. Like I'm still so grateful for that. And I got the call from the coach, and I answered it, and I'm on the phone, and my parents were like, "Tell us." And I was like, "Shh." Everyone like relax. And
Be cool.
yeah. And they basically wanted to confirm like if I wanted to play for them, and I was like, absolutely. Like, and I'll never forget that moment because I was like, this is the dream I've always had, and it just came true.
That's awesome.
And so then they announced it, and there's like a video of my brother jumping like crazy, and everyone's like hugging me. And it's just like such a great experience and one that I'll definitely never forget.
That's really, really cool.
I can only imagine, that type of suspense, that would kill me.
Oh gosh.
You know?
And I like organize, I like no surprises. So that was tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
don't blame you.
What was your first year in the league like? You finally like make your dream, you get there. Was it like, oh my God, this is so much harder than I thought it was gonna be, or like how did it go for you?
Yeah, so luckily I have been surrounded by the best group of girls with the Dash. Like I just like could thank them forever because they made the transition period I have no family in Texas, like going away from home, having 5 years at a college where I was like comfortable and stuff, going into a whole new environment, and the way they just like welcomed me and helped me develop and like welcomed me into the team and was incredible. So that part of it I'm so thankful for, and I don't want to say that was easy, but they made it an easy transition. The soccer part, however, like in college you think you are playing at the highest level. You're like, I can't be better than this, or I can't work harder than this, all this stuff. And pro just tests you so much in all of those aspects. I'll never forget the first training we had. Like the whistle blew, and it was like a small-sided little possession game, and people were going like ham. I was like, whoa, like this is what they talk about. And I just think like that's the main difference I've noticed from college level or club level to pro is the intensity of every little detail. And I respect it because that's like how you grow. And so I feel like the difference that I've seen in my play when I first came to Houston versus now, like, is something I'm super proud of, but it's because of everyone around me and how hard they push and the intensity in like a passing pattern. Like, and just like everyone has such quality. So that was like, I want to say a big shock, but I did expect that. I never went in being like, oh, I'm about to go own
about to
this.
kill 'em.
Like, I was like, I need to make the team, like, before I'm
Touche.
talking anything. But yeah, so that transition period, and I'm still adjusting and still learning. I'm still like a young player in the league, but I think you always can learn and develop as a player, especially because you're surrounded by so many different talents and a lot of quality players, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and like with the NWSL, like just because you get drafted doesn't mean necessarily mean you're gonna make the team, right? So you still
Right.
had to like
Yeah.
make the cut.
Yeah, like preseason, like you were like, oh God, you're trying to do every little thing right, like with your answers to the coach or like every single touch, like how you act off the field, everything.
Like no pressure at all.
Yeah, none.
None.
No, it's fun.
Easy
Yeah.
stuff. Anybody can do
It's
it.
cake. It's cake.
Yeah.
When you first like started getting playing time and stuff like that, was there anybody on other teams who were like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm playing against them? Like this is a dream. Like
Yeah, I've had a lot of surreal moments with that. I remember like my first time playing Alex Morgan, someone I've watched forever. Like
Yeah.
wore her pre-wrap. Like I wanted to look like her. I wanted to play like her. I was like, I'm doing the pink pre-wrap just like her. And like getting to play against her is so cool. And it's a very like proud moment that I have, but also a surreal moment. Like I'm playing against one of my inspirations since I was a child, and it's just like I'm in the same league or like I'm in the same game as
Yeah.
this person right now, which is really cool. But all of the national team players, a lot of the girls that I played with in college who had gone to the league earlier, and I always like just idolized them so much, and I still do, but it's so cool that I got to continue their journey too. Like I always loved seeing them make it to the next level and
Yeah.
wanted to be like, oh, I wish I could do that, or I want to be able to do that. And so seeing them too is amazing because we get to reconnect and like catch up and everything, but also it's cool that we have all gone through a similar process with the same college and made it to this level.
yeah, y'all all survived like that hell of like making it from college to the pros, like making
Yeah, I
that
mean,
jump.
I'm sure it's inspiring to be able to see them.
Exactly.
But, you know, like just going through that whole journey. You know, I can only imagine the perspective that it gives you
Right.
in terms of being able to achieve your dream, seeing those girls and being able to achieve similar things. Like, whoa, I am pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And one of your college teammates is on the dash now, so that's got to be
Yes.
awesome.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
When she got drafted, I was like as emotional as when I got drafted. Like it was so cool to see her, and like I love getting to play with her, so it's super fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And like I've seen y'all are on TikTok, like in the locker room, breaking it down, doing all those cool. That's
Yeah.
so much fun.
Well, that was like the big thing that like I remember our head coach like texted me, and he's like, "Your TikTok friend is coming." I was like, 'cause we started those TikToks in college, like pre-game, pre-training, every day a TikTok, and we're like, "Oh, amazing!" Like TikTok just wants us to succeed because they put us back together.
Of course.
Like, they want us
It's
to get
fate.
some viral. Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. They're working the underground, you know, whatever you would say, right? They're conspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
Exactly.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, as they should.
How are the vibes in the locker room? Like, is everybody down to be in your TikToks, or some people like get away from me? Or
So we do try to get some people who are not into it into our TikToks. Specifically James Campbell. Like she'll be one, we'll be making it like in the locker room and she'll like scoot by and like try to be like not noticed. But
like,
we
no one sees
we
me.
have gotten her in one of them. She did one dance move and that's all I want. It's perfect.
All you
But
need.
yeah, people are
Yeah.
super supportive. A lot of people like it's so normal now, they'll just like walk in the back and like know that we're doing that every morning. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, we'll get some people in it for sure.
I love that.
yeah, that's
Like
awesome.
a good guest star. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Good guest
Yeah,
appearance.
and I feel like Jane Campbell, like secretly, can probably break it down. Like if
Oh,
she
I'm
really
sure.
wanted to.
She's
I'm
got
sure
the
she
swag
could.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is swagged out. Like
She's one of the
I,
coolest people I've ever seen.
when I was
Yeah.
at my old job, I saw her at like a Kroger in Bearland, and I was like, "Oh, that's Jane Campbell." We made eye contact, and I was like, "She might know that I know who she is." I kept doing my thing. So Jane, if you see this, yeah, I kept my distance. You know, I understand you're
Trying to be
shopping. and
respectful.
It's real busy out there. So
Don't
you
want
know,
to just approach a legend like
there
that.
you go, man. You know, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, she
That's
is
awesome.
a legend.
So, talking about kind of the team this year, obviously, like, we're in the midst of the season and stuff right now. So, y'all kind of in the fire right now. But what's it like on the team? Like, is everyone just like super friendly, hanging out? Like,
Yeah. So kind of how I mentioned before, like it is the best group of girls. and I'm very lucky to say that because I don't know how it is at other clubs, so I can't really speak for that. But I know like at the Dash, like we are such a tight knit group, and the good thing about that is on the field, like you know that those girls are going to work for you and vice versa, and I think that's like what helps us like fight through those tough games. Or like we've had multiple games this season where we've had to play with 10 men instead of 11 because of red cards or whatever. And I think that's when you can see it the most is like people band together. Like we all love each other so much and want each other to succeed. And so yeah, hopefully like for the next few league games that we have, like that will come into play and come into fruition. But I think like off the field, it is such good energy from everyone, such a good environment to be in. Like I feel like I could go get coffee or go hang out with anyone on the team, which I think is a really special thing because usually like within a team you'll have your cliques or whatever, but this is like big happy family. So it's cool.
That's awesome because that's a very big deal. Not every team is going to click in that way, but I think it reflects on the way that you guys do play on the field. I mean, just like you said, like when you guys had 10 men on the field, that's a big deal in being able to band together. But, you know, just seeing the effort that you guys put together and the way that you guys uplift each other, even when y'all are down, it's reflecting on the field. So it's a great thing to see, and we're happy to hear that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So speaking of off the field, I kind of want to talk about like what are you into off the field? Like what do you do for fun?
Yeah. So I always say I have like two lives, and one is being a professional soccer player. The other one is coaching. So I'm up to almost 60 different kids in the Houston area that I coach individually. All different ages from like literally 4 up until like 16, 17. And it is like my second job. I love doing it so much. It's so like fulfilling and rewarding, and like the connections that I've made to like different families in the area. Like how I mentioned before, I don't have family in Texas, and like these families have become like my second families, which is like I'm super lucky for that. And I love these kids like with all my heart. So I usually will train, and then my dog, who's down here, comes with me to everything. So we'll go to the dog park and then like go coach for the rest of the night. And so I'll do like some team sessions, but a lot of individual or small group, and that's like been something that I've gotten to grow a lot in Houston, and I love doing it. So.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
That's awesome because like you would think, you know, you come home from work, you're like, I don't want to think about soccer anymore. Like leave me alone. Like
Yeah, totally.
But you're like giving back to the community and helping kids and stuff. That's
and that
awesome.
was definitely like something I thought about. Like, do I want to find something else to fill my time that's unrelated to soccer? But the more I thought about it, like I love the sport so much, and I love seeing like these kids love the sport, and if I can help with that in any way, like I want to. So that's why I chose to kind of stick with it.
Do you watch a lot of soccer that's not like NWSL related? Like, are you watching like Premier League and stuff? Or
Yeah, I love watching all soccer. Like anytime there's a game on, I like to watch it. When I was little, I was like, this is so boring. Like, why aren't they running fast? And then like the older I got, I was like, okay, it's a little bit of a trickier game than like you would think. But yeah, I love it, and it's so cool right now with the World Cup. Like, there's so much soccer around, and so I've been trying to watch as many games. Like waking up at 5 or 4 in the morning to get some soccer in.
Yeah,
Man, those Team USA games were tough, man.
Oh, dude, I didn't get to see anything. I
stayed up, but it was like, oh, this is agonizing. Like, I want to go to bed. Someone score, please. Put me out of my misery.
I know.
Do you have a specific team that you root for obviously outside of Houston?
So I love watching like Liverpool. I have some college teammates in leagues in England now.
Oh,
so
nice.
I loved watching like West Ham when my friend was there, and Arsenal and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So both the men's and the women's side. Now with Messi in the U.S., like I love watching those games.
It's been kind of crazy in here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So cool. So I would say I don't have a specific team, but I do have specific players that I love to watch. But anything that's on, I like to watch.
I don't blame you. I know I have Peacock, so Saturday mornings is like my ritual, like coffee and watch whoever's playing.
Yeah.
Like I'd always watch, like Chelsea would always be on, or I liked to root for Tottenham because they were, you know, an underdog. But with Harry Kane
More of an
gone,
Arsenal guy myself.
I don't know.
But, you know, we'll allow it for now.
It's all good, man. I totally get it. It's fine. It's fine.
But to be honest, like when I'm not watching like Dynamo or Dash, I'm usually watching like NBA, obviously, and then I watch like a lot of F1 now. So.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah,
I've never watched that. But
Me
it's
neither.
really-
Me neither. Yeah.
it's real good.
We're both.
Actually, this year it's not that good. This year is very boring. one guy, like, he just wins
Beating everybody.
by 1,000,000 miles every time. So, like,
Really?
yeah.
Interesting.
Same as Max Verstappen. Long, complicated story. But, yeah, it's very boring, very predictable. But, yeah, that's cool. I know a lot of athletes are just, like, get sports away from me. Like, when I'm not playing. Like,
Yeah.
it's like work, and they don't want to think about it
Yeah.
anymore. But
Which
I
I
love that
understand.
you
Touche.
still love the game. That's
Yeah.
great.
Definitely.
So what else, like, are you like a TV person, a movie person? Do you read a lot of books?
I do love to read. Invested in a Kindle for all the traveling that we do and everything. So I love to read. It's cool too because a lot of the girls on the team will like recommend books, and then it'll become like a little
Have
book
a
club.
little book club?
Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
love
look at that.
Yeah. We also like love doing crosswords. That's something like we're bringing those back.
Crosswords.
Like they're so much fun.
I'm not
so,
gonna lie to you. I do the New York Times crosswords
Yeah.
like when I can. I can only handle like Monday through Wednesday. It gets a little tough after that, but
I know they're so tricky. I do kind of look at the key probably too often. Than I should. But so we'll do those. I love movies. I love TV shows, but I feel like usually my day's pretty busy, and I cannot like keep up. Like all the girls on my team like
Speaking my language
Love
right now.
Island.
That's him. That's
Yeah.
who he is. Yeah, I'm a big TV show guy. He's a big movie guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I
we
do-
a lot of movie content for Apollo, and it's awesome. But TV shows, I'm like, I cannot.
I can't.
If there's more than one season, I'm not watching.
I
it.
know. Or I'll like drop out mid, and then it's like, oh, I just failed with that. Movies, one and done.
Fair.
So that's why I like doing
Touche.
it. But
Yeah, you say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
So
Or one of your favorites?
my
You don't have to
all-time
necessarily-
favorite
okay.
movie is Step Brothers. Any dumb humor or comedy is like has my name on it. I love like rom-coms too, but like the dumb humor, like The Heat or like Bridesmaids or Step Brothers or
Love
like
Bridesmaids.
Yeah,
Talladega Nights or anything
Oh,
like
yes,
that
yes,
is
yes.
that's my favorite.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah. That's cool.
You got good taste.
Thank you.
I Love You Man personally. A big Paul Rudd guy.
Yes.
I
Yes,
love
totally.
you, man. I didn't know
Dude.
that
So
about
funny.
you.
I love you, man.
Big crazy stupid love guy.
Yes.
My favorite
Such a
movie.
good
I love
movie.
rom-coms. I'm a sucker for like happy romance.
Yeah, me too.
you
Me
know?
too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You get a little sensitive. You
Yeah.
know? There's nothing wrong
It's
with
a-
it.
no.
Like a good musical, time to time. you
Yeah.
know.
Guilty. Very guilty of
Yeah.
musicals. Yes.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
speaking of happy romance, we have to ask, obviously, talk of the town. You and Pat Connaughton, player for the Milwaukee Bucks. How'd y'all meet?
Okay. Funny story actually. Connected to soccer. Katie Lind
Shout out.
went to Notre Dame. Pat Connaughton went to Notre Dame. Follow each other on Instagram. Known each other. They're friends. Katie posted a story of me or a post or something that had me, and he ended up texting her. And then I get a text from Katie saying, "Hey, my friend's asking about you," and I was like, I don't know, like
It's like,
those
I'm
texts,
not
like,
so
no.
sure.
And
Wait.
she,
So an NBA player did my friend over there thinks you're
Wait,
cute.
but did
like,
you?
thing.
She may have not known. She's like just friend.
That wor-
Yeah, I didn't know who
I'm
he
just
was, to be
stunned,
fair.
like that an NBA player was just like, hey, text your friend for me.
Touche.
you would think like an NBA player would just be like,
Yeah, my
sitting there
man's in the
shooting a
league,
shot.
bombing threes.
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on, let me text.
I'm
Let me
pulling up from
check."
40. Like, hey, Katie, you text your friend for me.
yeah, so, and she knows him really well and just like told me what she knew about him and that he's such a good guy and like he's in the NBA, but he's so motivated. He has another business, like so cool. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So looked him up on Instagram. I was like, oh, I think he's cute. And so we were just started messaging, but it definitely started through her because she kind of like kind of put us in contact, which is cool. So
Yeah.
now I call her Cupid Katie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love the nicknames. Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to Katie Lynn.
Yeah,
Friend
there
of the
you
program.
go,
Go
man.
watch
Yeah.
our YouTube video with Katie and her husband.
Oh, they're
I
so
interviewed
funny.
both Katie and her husband. It was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
All right, so we have a couple of questions from Twitter for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
A couple of our followers asked some questions. First one, we got kind of already talked about it, but you can go more in depth if you like. How do you function / play soccer in Houston's heat and humidity?
I don't. I feel like I black out every time I'm out there. Oh my god. The way I function is so we have our field, there's like no cover. So you're just in
Jeez.
direct sunlight. However, the lights are super tall and they'll make like a path of shade. When no one's looking, I'm like in the shade just like cool. It's crazy how much the temperature changes in the shade.
Oh,
so like
dude.
finding little slivers of shade throughout training. so much water. Like I've never drinking so much water in my life.
Gotta hydrate.
Yeah. Ice baths. And then
Oh,
really
yeah.
you just kind of have to accept your fate. You're like, I'm melting. And this is
Touche.
like, I'm going to be out here for a few hours and then I'm going to go inside and like lay in the AC.
That's
hopefully
admirable.
for the rest of the day.
Because when I did the media soccer game over at Revolution Sports, shout out to them, I played like 25 minutes. And let me tell you, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, y'all were
This
playing
was
on
torture.
like a
This was in-
50-yard field.
This was in June. And
Yeah.
I was just like, it's never this hot in Houston in June. And I was just like, oh my God, can we get through this?
People
like,
were literally passing out
Dude,
there.
they cut the time down. Like the second half was like, oh, we're gonna do like 8 minutes. So I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank you. You know.
Yeah.
So, kind of continuing that, how crazy is the in-season conditioning / nutrition planning?
Okay, so we, as soccer players, we do a ton of conditioning. And I feel like usually you would think that kind of ends in preseason, but it's always, it never ends. Especially if we don't have like a game that week, we will get our game fitness in by some extra running. Or I think like soccer in general is just, it's all conditioning. Luckily you're chasing after something, so
Yeah.
you get a little distracted chasing after the ball, but like you are just nonstop moving.
Running
so
all the
much
time.
running.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then nutrition wise, like our team's really lucky. We have an amazing nutritionist who kind of gives us like personal plans and advice and all of that. But the amount we have to eat is like ridiculous because of how much we're sweating and how much we're exerting every day. So I never stop eating. Like literally never stop. I feel like it's every few minutes. I'm like, what else should I have?
Kind of going off of that, what's your go-to cheat meal?
My go-to cheat meal. Okay. So I had this a few times in college, but mostly here. Cane's.
I love Cane's.
Cane's
Oh my God.
super,
It's so good.
So
super
good.
solid.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
would say like chicken fingers and fries, burger, or like pizza,
Oh,
and then
man.
like big dessert person. So any sort of sweet, like that's gonna be in my cheat meal, or like just in my daily life. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Love it.
And then last one, who you got in the World Cup?
Okay,
Who's left? Right.
so Spain just won,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yes,
that's
yes.
who I have. I
Oh.
think Spain is an incredible team. I think they have like a very good team dynamic, but also the talent individually. And I think they're just like fighters, and it's been cool to watch them in this World Cup. And it's cool that all of the teams left, I believe, have not ever won.
Yeah, none of them ever won.
Yeah, and so like it's exciting for all of the teams because I think that's such an amazing thing for that country.
Yeah, for sure.
To have to be able to get to say that. But yeah, and my best friend on the Houston Dash played in Spain, and so she knows some of the girls on the team, or kind of has that like connection. So
Yeah.
it gives me something
Yeah.
and someone to root for.
Cool.
Touche.
All right. So, yeah, Spain. You heard it here first. They're winning the World Cup. Ryan Garris told us so.
Yeah.
She's a professional. She would know.
Yeah. cut this part if they don't win.
All right, so we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to ask you, about some of the other players on the team. Give us your superlatives here. We got a list for you. First off, best dressed.
Best dressed.
I feel like
Okay.
this is a tough one.
So I'm gonna say Michelle Alozzi, which
Yeah.
I think most people on my team would agree. She just got like, I just imagine myself in the stuff she wears, and I would look like an idiot. But she pulls it
She
off like
looks
she
so
can
cool.
thrift
for real.
well. She like can pair things together. She has some like nicer stuff. It's just she's got a like good. She's got a good fit going on always.
Every week we
Yeah.
do like the Fit Check Friday on Apollo's Instagram. I'm like, I gotta go see what Michelle wore this week. Like, we
Right.
gotta put it in there.
Yeah,
And she seems like just the coolest person
she's so
of
cool.
all time. I
Yeah,
love
she's awesome.
how much love she was getting in the World Cup this year. Like, everyone's talking about, how she does like cancer research while also being a full-time player.
Yeah,
like,
that's
Exactly.
intense, man. I can
my
only
God.
imagine.
and being the
It's
best dressed on the
amazing.
team. She's the coolest.
Yeah, I think it's like so cool. Like Michelle's an amazing example, but of how girls on the team do so many other things other than play professional soccer. It's just
Yeah.
really cool that like there's a lot of talent in the group for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of talent, who's the best dancer on the team? We know you do the TikToks. We know you've gotten
I
them to do
know.
some.
Okay.
You can say yourself
so-
if you want to.
Okay, here's the
Low-key
thing. I
humble
love
brag.
dancing. I just wouldn't say I'm the best dancer. I honestly put me in like a ballet competition in the team. I'm winning that. Like I could actually be pretty confident about that. I'm gonna say JY though, my teammate who I do the TikToks with. First of all, she can learn these dances in like 2 seconds, and I'm like, wait, like, were you studying last night? Like, I'm confused how you got that so fast. But she's also like the rhythm that she has and like the energy she puts into the dances. I'm gonna say her. So.
Sick.
Love it.
All right. Who's the fastest player on the team?
The fastest. Okay, so I am gonna put myself in this one, but I'm gonna tie it with Ebony on my team. I think like we need to have a full-out sprint like race, but she is like
I would love to see
lightning
it.
speed. But yeah, like numbers-wise, we get like our top speed back and stuff, so I can hopefully confidently say myself as one of the top people on my team. But yeah, Ebony is freaking fast.
All right. Who's the best DJ? Who you
Best
hand the aux
DJ.
cord to?
I'm gonna say Ebony again. She plays amazing music. Or Mock on my team. She has like such a good variety. So I'd say either of them.
Okay.
You love that.
Yeah.
Who would you pick first in a basketball game?
Ew. Katie. I have to, right? Or my roommate Joelle. She also played basketball throughout high school, and I watched her highlights on Huddle. She showed me once, so I know she's pretty good.
Oh, you were good.
Yeah. She's like, no, let me show you real quick.
That's awesome. She was like, hey, watch my huddle tape.
Yeah, and like she loves watching basketball, so she's a student of the game. I'm gonna go Katie or Joe, whoever would be willing to play with me, because I might bring the team down a little bit in that aspect.
All right. Who's the best hype woman?
Best hype woman. We have a lot. I'm gonna say Allie on my team. She's like someone who always like will be positive or say good job or like point out things that you do well. Such a good person to have on your team, not only because she's so talented herself, but because of like the energy she gives you, and like she builds everyone up like all the time. So even in like 5v2 rondos or something, like she'll say like amazing job or good job. I'm like, what? You're so nice. Like, thanks.
All right. Who's the best trash talker?
Okay, this I'm gonna say Ebony again. That girl's not scared of confrontation, but I respect it. So yeah, definitely her.
Are
She's
you
good at
are you a
it.
trash talker at all or no?
God, no. Actually, growing up, I used to try to do the opposite. I would try to like befriend the outside back I was going against, so maybe she wouldn't expect that I would like try to beat her. So I'd be like, oh, like hey, like be
Yeah.
so nice, and then I would try to run as fast as I could by her, and then we wouldn't be friends after that. But
I can see that. It's like
Yeah.
get a little edge in the competition.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
All right. Final question that I have for you: which one's your favorite Dash uniform?
Ooh. I like our white kit because it has the light blue stars. I love
Yeah.
light blue so much. And I've become a big orange girl. I used to hate orange, but I had to become a big orange girl. So I do love our orange kit, but I think the white one is very sleek. And with the light blue on it, I think it looks really pretty.
That's awesome. I wish y'all would wear black like y'all do like your warm-ups. They look
It's
so cool.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
I would
agree.
love a black kit. So maybe Dash, if you're listening, you can
Yeah, guys.
You
just,
can add that.
hint,
add that in
hint.
the budget.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Justin, you got any questions?
No, I think you got it. You know, like we were just happy to have you.
Oh,
we
thank
appreciate your
you.
time.
Of course.
Thank you so much for doing this. This has been awesome.
No,
You're-
thank
you're
you
fun.
guys. It was so much fun.
So that's Ryan Garris. Be sure to watch her this year along with the Houston Dash. Making a playoff push this year, hoping to get back to the playoffs for the second time in a row. It's gonna be a fun. It's already
Oh,
been a
yeah.
fun season. Gonna be a fun end of the season.
Yeah,
And also, be sure to check out your local Sweetgreen.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that elote
Do you,
bowl.
does Ryan have anything to promote or your socials to let everybody know where to follow you and where to see your content?
I think all of my socials are just my name. You can follow me there. And my dog has an Instagram account.
Sweet.
Ins-
So I
Instant
feel
follow.
like yeah, follow that. Coaching has has an Instagram account. So yeah, just me.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for watching, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow Ryan everywhere. Follow Apollo HOU. And we're out of here.
Bye.
Say
Cody's
bye,
done.
Cody.
For the B-roll, for the B-roll. He's like, I'm good.
Cody's like, it's so weird they didn't let me talk on this.
I know.
I'm out of here.
He's like, jerks.